I'll dig head and arm, all right, and I can connect my hands. Now, a lot of people, when they're mounted, they know they need to keep their elbows low. If both elbows are above the head, all right, you're in a bad spot. All right. So what I'll do is I'll start opening to get his elbow at least in line with his shoulder. All right. It's a lot easier to connect my hands and drive my elbow in with my shoulder to get his elbow up, and then from there I can let go and start spider walking it all the way. So now his elbow is above the plane of his shoulder. Right? So once I'm there, right, I can look to trap, right, and I can really focus on getting this arm across. Now once I'm here, I'll find the side of his head, and I'm going to pull that to me. Free this arm, and then I'm going to snake it in. Now here I don't have the luxury of connecting my hands, so what I'll do is I'll start leaning a little bit to that side, not really far away, because if my arm's extended, right, he'll re-pummel. So, see how I'm pulling his head into my bicep? I can lean a little bit to the side and spider walk this arm up. Now once I can get his elbow above the plane of his shoulders and closer to his head, I'm going to connect my hands, but I'm not really connecting my hands. I'm doing like the infinity grip, so I'm going to go wrist to wrist, and I'm going to wrap here. All right? Some people try to go under the head, but I find that if I go under the head and he's strong, all right, which Steve is, he can bear his elbows down. I'm not very strong. Come on in, Trevor. All right? I'm not that strong, all right, so I'm not able to hold by just squeezing my elbows. But if I get my hands and the infinity grip above his head, so now Steve tries to connect his, or get his elbows low. Go ahead, Steve. All right, Steve is much stronger than me. We've established this many years ago. But I can hold him here for as long as I need. Now once I'm here, all right, I can start sliding my knees up, right? And this is gonna keep my chest low at the same time. Now once I'm ready, all right, the side that I'm gonna sit out and face, that arm, I'm gonna cup the back of his head and start like lifting up. So I'll lean, I can post my hand, slide that knee up nice and high, and then I'm just gonna extend using my heel and turning it back in. Now one thing with the S-mount I see is a lot of people, they sit like this where they're like kind of in the same position they were just at. You wanna turn your body 90 degrees, all right? My heel, I'm trying to get it to touch my knee. And I also want his head kind of shelved on my thigh here, right? If it's low to the mat, right, he's able to wiggle around a lot. But if I'm able to pull his head up off the mat, all right, I'm not like shelving it all the way up with my hip, but he's on my thigh. Steve, how does this feel? Bad? All right. If I feel like he was moving around too much and I was losing position, I can hold his head and hold my shin. Steve, go ahead and move around. All right. If this heel does not come in, all right, and I'm like way out here, which happens to a lot of people, even if I'm holding the head, Steve, move around. See? Two little movements and I already had to put my hand on the mat. Right? So getting this heel in puts more pressure on him. All right? So now if he moves around, you see the difference? It's all in bringing that heel in and shelving his head on the thigh. All right? So this right here will be our starting point, facing away from his body. All right? All right. Now we'll do this more sped up version. Dig for a head and arm. Right? If his elbow feels weak and I can just spider walk right away, by all means just go right to it. But a lot of people will start fighting and they try to bear that elbow down. So I'll connect my hands, I drive to get that elbow up. Once I'm here, I'll spider walk and I'll trap here just to make sure I can get this elbow nice and high. All right? Find the side of his head, pull. Right? Look where I'm grabbing. I'm like grabbing like right at his temple, just pulling it over. I can lean towards that side, pummel my underhook. Right? Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention is where I'm putting my hand when I spider walk makes a difference. If I'm walking at his armpit, he'll just keep his elbow closed. So I want to go just below the elbow, right where the tricep connects. All right? So I'll find that point, I dig. See, I'm just kind of spider walking, inchworming my hand. All right? Once I get to a certain point, I can connect my hands and pull, all right? But I don't want to go like this, all right? And he clears his elbow. Find that elbow, all right? Connect my hands. I just do like an infinity grip right on the top of his head, all right? I can either shoot my knees up nice and high, or I can inch them up, all right? Once I'm ready, lean to the opposite side that I'm gonna be facing. That same hand is gonna cup up on his head. I'm gonna pull, all right? And I extend and bring my heel in. Look at my heel. See, I can basically drag it all the way around. This knee needs to be high, all right? If it feels a little loose, pull your shin in towards you, all right? Make sure I'm hunkered in nice and tight. This back leg, I don't want it sucked into him because I can get bumped over, all right? I want it to be like a kickstand, all right? I personally like to sit on the flat of my foot, all right? I don't want to be on my toes because if we do go back, it's a lot of weight on my toes, so just going flat down. Pull up, make sure it's nice and tight, all right? Right here, this is what would be considered a tight S mount, right? I'm in a really good position to go for arm bars and back takes, hip wrap, all that kind of stuff. All right, so I'll do it one time, just all the way through without any instruction. All right, and I'm here. I guess one last point is when you're here, if you have to pick between leaning back, center, or forward, try to keep it like a little bit more like center forward, because if he bumps, all right, it's easier for me to lean towards his hip forward, all right? Or if I lean back, I'm more likely to fall back, all right? It's a lot easier for me to catch my weight forward, all right? And if they are bumping like crazy, I would hold the shin. By holding the shin, it's gonna keep his elbows close together. Where if I'm more focused on his head, all right, here, he can get my heel away from my knee, which is gonna give him space to open his chest and get his elbows free. Does that make sense to everybody? Anybody need to see the end? No? Cool. All right, 3, 2, 1.